Molly. This is my Molly. She wants to say hi. Hi, and if you're a first-time viewer, welcome. If you're not, if you've been here before, thank you for joining me again. It's snowing here in PEI this morning. I took a video of Molly and I outside in the yard. Hello, and welcome to the CAWcreations episode 3. It is Sunday, April 23rd. Yeah, I thought spring was here, but I guess I was wrong. I am Cheryl Can, CHERYLCAN, on Instagram and Ravelry, and CAWcreations for my patterns, and at CAWcreations.org for notes on this video. I had a kind of a crazy week. I haven't got as much knitting done that I can tell you about as I would like. I've been working on a new pattern with Fleece and Harmony and just finishing up the semester at UPEI, which tends to be very busy working up to graduation. So grab your cuppa. Today I'm drinking a beautiful oolong tea and trying to keep warm here with the snow coming down. I forget who said it, but it's life in a snow globe today in PEI. So the only thing I finished this week was putting Ian's name on his socks so that we have little grippies here with his name on them for the project, the little overalls project that I've been working on. I've started rereading the Anne of Green Gables series, and Anne in Anne of the Island has a day, and she calls it a Jonah day, where everything goes wrong. Well, these little overalls I made for Ian, they're what I call my Jonah project. I got it to him last week, and his mom sent me a picture of him wearing it, and the pants fit perfectly, but the overalls come up to just about a bit above his belly button. So I'm going to have to get it back and try and modify it to make it fit him. I think I'm just going to modify, put an elastic in, and just make it into a pair of pants because I want him to be able to wear them. This time of year is perfect for them. So I'll just have to get it back and fix it. But it's just so frustrating. I got the yarn specially dyed by my Color Wheelhouse Allison. It's the perfect colors for them, and they look absolutely gorgeous on them. But I just took way too long in making it, so I've got to learn about clothing. And I should know, I've spent years where I've made tons of Afghans because every time I tried to make clothes, they don't seem to work out. I'm fine at designing them. It's just getting my own little things to work. Maybe, as the girl said, if I actually followed the pattern instead of modifying everything I make, I might be able to get it right. We will see though. It's just no fun unless you make a few changes to it. Anyway, so works in progress. Well, my whips haven't gotten much love at all this week. I think I got 2 rows done on my Find Your Fade by Drea Renee knits. Oh, and of course, I've just now pulled all the stitches out of it. Oh well, we'll show it to you anyway. So we're here. I still haven't moved on to color 5. I'm still on color 4. Most of the Find Your Fade shawl is in Bayview Fiber Arts colors. So I have Cleopatra on the Wharf, I have Cleopatra in the Snow, and I have Pansy already on the shawl. This middle pattern is Lisa Souza's Rhinebeck colorway that I got when I was in Rhinebeck this year. It's so soft and squishy. It's a lovely, lovely shawl, and I want to get it done. So I'm going to focus a bit on this week. What else have I been working on? Oh, my Ironheart sweater. I'm hoping to finish this. This is by Tin Can Knits. It's their Heart on My Sleeve collection. The collection was done to raise money for the Malaria Foundation. So every purchase of the pattern goes to help find a cure for malaria. So you can see here, I didn't get a ton done. I've only got a few inches done here. I need to have 17 inches up so then I can add the sleeves and do the yoke. So I'm hoping to finish this sweater, or at least get to the yoke, before I start my gingerbread sweater that I'm making for a knit-along with Hawthorne Cottage Crafts and with Knitting in Stitches. And I'll talk a little bit about that after. But are those all my whips I wanted to show? No, one more. Two more. Well, this is a whip that I'm going to frog. This is in my bag by Sue from Two Tangled Skeins. It's my Doctor Who bag. I absolutely love it. But what's in it is the Apple Blossom sock, and I think I'm going to have to go with a solid sock. The opal colorway just hides all of the patterning for the Apple Blossom sock. So that's going to be frogged and go back to be knit on a more solid color. The last thing I'm working on are the Knitter's Mitts, and they're by Heidi by Hand. She has a shop over in Moncton, so I've stopped there. She has beautiful yarns, but these are her Knitter's Mitts, and I love the ribbing on these. The ribbing is a little bit different, but it gives it a really nice texture, and it makes the gloves fit so lovely. So they're so nice there. So they're a one size glove and they fit really well. So moving on to my projects that will be underway this week. I'm working on a new series of something that I can't really tell you what it is, but I can show you the colors I'm using. So these are Fleece and Harmony yarns. They're 100% wool. They're 10 wraps per inch. And this is the blue color. This is their Blueberry Preserves colorway. And then I have a nice pink colorway. And Kate from Hawthorne Cottage Crafts podcast. These are nice smelly yarns, and I just picked them up over at the farm yesterday, so they're just, oh, so nice. Anyway, can't wait to show you the whole project that I'm doing with those, but I have to wait for everything to come together. Sorry, I have a bit of a cough. The joy of asthma and temperature changes is that things don't always stay the way you want them to. So, as I said, I want to knit the gingerbread sweater that Kate is having a knit along for. It's a plain sweater with nice patterning on the cuffs and the bottom of the sweater, the rib on the bottom. And so I'm combining the Madeline Tosh Coal Seam, and the Coal Seam has multiple colors in it. I don't know if it's coming up really well here. So I was worried I'd lose the patterning on the rib with that. So I talked to Paula from Bayview Fiber Arts, and I asked her if she could dye some barn board, which is a beautiful brown, and I have it in her sock yarn. But this is in her DK weight on Swing Bridge DK 100% superwash merino. So this is going to be a superwash merino sweater. I just love the colors together. I can't wait to see it. And she added a really cute little stitch marker, Dreaming by the Sea. I'll put a picture in so that you can see it really well. But I don't know if I can wait to cast this on until I finish that other sweater. We will see. But it is just so nice. So I'm knitting it for Kate's Cal, but I'm also knitting it for Moira of Knitting and Stitches for her knit along. The knit along's called I Like Your Sweater, and it's a story about me at Rhinebeck. This year 6 of us jumped in my van and took a road trip and went to Rhinebeck, and it was great. It was so much fun. But on the way going up to Rhinebeck, I realized I didn't have a sweater, so I had a Rhinebeck shawl. But as I was going, I was watching Stephanie Pearl McPhee, the Yarn Harlots blog, and reading along, and I felt like, you know, I don't know, maybe other people do this too, but I feel like I know her. I feel like she's a friend that I see a lot, talking to me about knitting and how to fix my knitting and stuff like that. So I watched the whole saga of her preparing for Rhinebeck, trying to get this sweater done as she did all the other things that she was doing. So I get to Rhinebeck, and it's a sea of people. And what we did with our crew, we said with 6 of us, we can't get through the booths all going together. So we had places we would meet up, and we would just go by ourselves and explore Rhinebeck. And it was so fun, just seeing everything. But I got a bit overwhelmed. I'm not good with crowds. I'm not really good with people invading my personal space. And wow, there were so many people I didn't know. And so much amazing yarn, and so I'm wandering through, and I'm in the main building with a whole bunch of booths, and it's the same building if you go to the end where the classes are. And I just passed by the Miss Babs booth, and if you've not been there, there's just a run on the yarn. The line up to get in to pay at Miss Babs was out the door and down the end of the building, and the press of people around that area was just overwhelming. Anyway, I wandered through all these faces I didn't know, and all of a sudden, standing right in front of me was Stephanie, and she had on the sweater. And I don't fangirl often, but I fangirled. Oh, and you know, you go through in your head, what can I say, and it just all happened so fast. And all I said was, I like your sweater. And she smiled and was really gracious, and then walked away. And I told the story to my crew of knitting friends, and they laughed and laughed because I'm a big talker. And I think they loved the fact that I was tongue-tied. So we're planning to go to Knit East this year. And this knit along, this I like your sweater, Cal, is to get our sweaters made before we go. And so we couldn't cast on until April 20th, so that's why I'm waiting to cast this on until now. So I think what I'm going to do is tag along with Moira's sweater cowl, and my only rule is that it has to be an adult-sized sweater, so it has to have sleeves and it has to be adult-sized. You have to be a member of my group, and I'll have a few prizes for people who enter. So I'm just going to have the same thread for the I Like Your Sweater chatter and for the objects that people are doing. And I'll run it for the same period as Moira will, and I'll have it all written up in the group by midweek this week, so you can see it. And I am so fine with you double dipping into other knit-alongs that we do. I'm thinking what I might do, I make stitch markers, so I might have a few stitch markers for people. I spoke with a local leather worker, and I'm hoping to get some little tiny circle stitch markers, leather pieces. Oh, I can't wait. They should be so nice and so much lighter. I've been using acrylic and glass beads, and the acrylic beads are great, but the glass beads are a little bit heavy and can pull on some of the stitches, and I really don't like that. So I'm hoping this leather will be really nice, and what's nice about it is you can use the little ends of leather, so we get our value out of all of that as well. So it's really kind of good. I think the only other thing I haven't shown you is the blanket from Gavin's blankets that I'm working on to finish up the pattern. Because I've been working so hard with the stuff for the Fleece and Harmony, I haven't gotten as much done on my own patterns for my own stuff. I did finish the ball of yarn, so now I should be able to write up how many balls of yarn it should take people. And you can see I got a couple of inches done on the blanket, and it's getting to the point where I can actually cover up in it, so it's nice. I'm trying to think what else is going on with me this week. Oh, I finished Purple Hibiscus. It was a good story to read. It was a very hard read. It dealt with abuse and poverty and just the whole political situation in Nigeria. How to explain it? I thought that the book was really well written and it was an important read, but it was heavy. So I've been rereading the Anne series, which is much lighter. I just needed a break from heavy, dark, thriller, stuff like that. So I read Anne of Green Gables this last week, and it's funny how now, when I read it as a child, I really associated with Anne and related to her, and now I'm kind of seeing Marilla and Mrs. Lynde in a new light as I've become a parent and as my children are becoming young adults. So at this point, I'm reading Anne of the Island, which is the second book in the series, and it's really neat because Anne is 16 and she's teaching and becoming a young adult, which is where my children are at, so I quite enjoyed that. What else? So what's been going on in Prince Edward Island? We're still burger love crazy. I've tried a few more burgers. My guts won't let me eat as many as everybody else does. I split them with my husband. We've had some really good ones. One was the Red Eye from PEI Brewing Company. The bun was bright red, which was a bit disconcerting, but it had 2 kinds of bacon. Oh, it was good, and an egg. It was what they called the breakfast burger, so it was nice. But my daughter and my husband went out last night for another burger, and I just couldn't do it. I stayed home, tried to get some knitting done. And it's been spring here, so we're starting. My crocuses were coming up. I was pretty excited, and then I woke up this morning to snow. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Happy knitting, and thank you so much for joining me.